When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. A warm good evening to one and all present here. Today we are gathered here to celebrate World Entrepreneurship Day. Entrepreneurship is the process of turning a concept into a developed product. You might dream of becoming an entrepreneur or getting a job in the corporate sector. Understanding the significance, it can help you to decide your career path. Here are some points which focused on importance of entrepreneurship. An entrepreneur is someone who undertakes or plans for all the risk and responsibilities that come with the formation of a new business to earn profits. Entrepreneurship is the ability to innovate whether in an established company, a government agency, or a new business. Since entrepreneurship usually creates new jobs and generates income for a family, it can help improve your standard of living. So it gives me immense pleasure to introduce our speaker for the day, Mr. Anshav Jain. Mr. Anshav Jain from India is having 21 plus years of corporate experience and angel investor, startup mentor, business consultant, serial entrepreneur, and now founder and MD of Bringle Excellence UK and India. He has lost his high-paying corporate job after growing 16 times in just 11 years and have tried 21 plus ideas in 21 plus years, lost 7 plus businesses in 7 plus years with a debt of $500,000 before transforming a loss-making business into a self-sustainable $100 million plus global startup. And now working towards transforming India into a self-sustainable and financially independent economy, leading to zero unemployment with his new book, Sone Ki Chidiya Ko Jagao. He is working towards his global vision 2020-2030 to transform 1 billion lives, 1 million businesses and 100 unicorns with an investment of $1 billion to develop the world's largest patented and inclusive virtual skill tech university with a blockchain-based skills bank by bringing excellence in 3 E's, that is education, employment and entrepreneurship. With this, sir, we welcome you.
Hi everybody. Good afternoon. आवाज नहीं आ रही? So all of you have gathered here for what today? What is your purpose? सिर्फ मैडम ने बुलाया है, जाना है? हाँ? What is your purpose for which you have gathered here? Okay, let me change the question. In the next 5 years, how do you dream yourself into a totally whatever? What do you dream for yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? Anybody can say, you have any ideas you want to become? How many of you have gone through any struggles in your life? Just raise your hands. Okay, only 2. Nobody else. Okay, very good. Everybody had a very good life. You have never struggled in life? Huh?
Having no struggle doesn't mean that they have a good life.
Okay. So how do you define struggle? How do you define struggle? आपको पता है आप सब ने आर यू ओके विद हिंदी इंग्लिश मिक्स ओके गुड डू यू नो ईच ऑफ यू हैव स्ट्रगल्ड while taking a birth itself, while coming into this world? How many of you know that? Oh, okay. So what struggle you have gone through while taking birth? Huh? Okay, to survive inside the womb, yes. Beautiful, beautiful. Give a big round of applause to her. So I'll tell you a story today. And why I start with this question to you? Because we're talking about entrepreneurship today, first of all, right? Anybody knows what is entrepreneurship? Has anybody dreamt of having $1 million or a $1 billion company of yours? You have, very good. Anybody else? Okay. How many of you want to become a millionaire, $1 million salary CEO of any company, your own company or somebody else's company? $1 million salary. Very few. Why others? Do you want $1 billion or you don't know how much you want? Huh? So rest of you don't want anything. You can work for free? Huh? So I'll ask the question again. How many of you want a $1 million salary? $1 million salary. How many of you want that? Maybe in your company or somebody else's company. Would you like it? No. How much would you want? How much? Go ahead, tell me. Okay, so how more? और कितना चाहिए? $1 billion? How much? $1 trillion? Okay, anyways. So I'll tell you a story today. A story of a mother who has got her baby which is preterm. So the baby was born before time. And when the baby was born, it was of course in nursery for a couple of months because he was preterm. And after some time, they realized that the child is not able to develop his legs properly. There is no strength in his legs. And so he's not able to walk up, because typically by the 1 year you will realize that child is walking. And the child was almost 3 years, 4 years, and child was not able to walk. Doctors was not able to figure out what happened. And they were very, very curious. Parents were worried. They were working, but mother has to leave the job. You know that, right? How happens in the family. When it comes to, somebody to leave or sacrifice, the women of the house takes the first step. Unfortunate, but true. They tried figuring it out, and they tried multiple doctors. It went on till like 6-7 years of age of the child. And then they found one doctor, which was almost 200 kilometers away from their residence. And the doctor did some test, and they realized, and the doctor asked a question to the mother. And be very careful. Focus. Did your child cry at the time of birth? We all cried, right? We all cried at the time of birth. Did we or didn't we? Has anybody thought that why crying is so important? How many of you have seen Three Idiots movie? Beautiful. Wonderful. So in that movie, in almost the last scene, why they were so bothered about that the child was not crying? Huh? Okay. Why the child was not breathing? Why crying is associated with it? It is because, and it is medically I'm telling you, It is because when the child cries, the child lungs gets adapted to the external environment and your lungs expand, because when the child is in the womb, frankly the child is breathing very lightly, there is no activity, right? So when there is no activity, your lungs are underdeveloped. और जब आप बाहर आते हो, सडनली बच्चे को लगता है कि ये करना क्या है हमें, एंड द लंग्स को भरने के लिए बच्चे का रोना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. अभी किसी ने सवाल पूछा कि बच्चे को गुदगुदी करके हंसाते क्यों नहीं है, रुलाना ही क्यों है? बट दैट्स अ प्रोसेस. हैव यू हर्ड द स्टोरी ऑफ caterpillar transforming into a butterfly? Each of you would have heard it somewhere, right? अगर आप उस caterpillar को जब वो struggle कर रहा है around inside the cocoon, अगर वो उसको काट दोगे तो क्या होगा? क्या होगा? हाँ? So it won't form a butterfly. The point what I am trying, and this child who was unable to walk was because he did not cry at the time of the birth. And because of that situation, the lungs were not developed properly. And it's a real story I am telling you. This lady is one of co-founder with us. And because of that, the whole body does not get proper oxygen or blood flow. Because of that, his legs got impacted. This child is around 13 years of age today. He still walks, but walks with the braces. He cannot walk on his own. The reason I asked that question to all of you, how many of you struggled, is because unless you have seen some difficult times in your life, you won't be able to identify or even nurture or find your true potential. And this potential identification can happen only in the times when you have struggling times. Struggle doesn't mean that you have to be living on streets. Struggle doesn't mean that you have to be having no food. The struggles could be mental, emotional. Struggles could be physical, biological, medical, financial. There can be various types of struggles. And I'm sure each of you would have gone through that stage. और अगर किसी ने कोई भी ऐसी situation नहीं देखी है, then please let me know. I think you are God. Even God had struggles. Even God, Lord Ram, Krishna Bhagwan, किसके पास struggles नहीं थी? Sita Mata. You see everybody. In fact, they would have struggled probably much more than us. In fact, कृष्ण भगवान के लिए तो ये बोला जाता है कि उनका अवतार ही struggles लेने के लिए हुआ था. कहने को उनकी 17,000 से ज्यादा रानियां थी, बट वो कितना खुश थे और कितने परेशान थे वो वही जानते हैं. The point what I am trying to say is, the life gives you struggles, opportunities, and when you overcome those struggles, and I'm sure each of you would have done that. एक छोटी सी एक्सरसाइज कर ले, आपको ये बताने के लिए कि आपने अपने लिए कौन सी ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन किया है. Is it okay? Okay. So all of you can close your eyes. Sit calmly. Just leave your phones aside. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. How much soever you can take a deep breath, take it. Hold. And release. आपके आप अपने हाथ दोनों पैर के ऊपर रखो और palms को keep it open in the sky. Don't keep it reverse. हथेलियां खुली होनी चाहिए आसमान की तरफ. Just relax. Just keep it like a bud. Don't bother how the fingers are. Just focus inside. Only inside. Keep taking the breath, deep breath. Hold it for count when I'll say 1 to 4, you have to take a deep breath. I'll count from 1 to 4, hold it. And I'll count from 1 to 6, you have to release it slowly. 1, so you take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Relax. Now I'll repeat my question again. I'll repeat my question. How many of you have gone through any struggle in your life? Wow. And you're still here. You guys are still here. And thinking that you have no struggles in your life. You know, we are all going through many struggles in our life. And we all fight with it. One of the biggest challenges is that we keep looking outside for some appreciation for ourselves. Am I right? आज मैं यहां खड़ा हूं, आप सब मेरे को सुन रहे हो, राइट? लेकिन क्या मैंने स्ट्रगल नहीं देखी है? Many people ask me कि मैं अपने इंट्रोडक्शन में अपनी फेलियर्स के बारे में क्यों बताता हूं? आपने भी सुना होगा ना अभी. The reason I always tell my failures more over there, because failures are the only stepping stone for your success. If you can't accept your failure, you won't be able to enjoy your success. You may be successful, but you will not enjoy it. Because जो चीज आसानी से मिल जाती है ना, उसकी वैल्यू नहीं होती. तो जस्ट एक छोटा सा ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन कर, एक लाइन स्टेटमेंट लिखनी है. जो भी अभी आपने मोमेंट ढूंढा है, उसको हम बोलते हैं ब्रिंगल मोमेंट. ना आप पूछ रहे हैं ब्रिंगल क्या है? एनीबडी नोज अबाउट ब्रिंगल? So bringle is a coined word, brain plus tingle. So when you, आपने कभी रोंगटे खड़े हो जाने वाली फीलिंग के बारे में सुना है? तो आप सबके माइंड में, माइंड, बॉडी और सोल में जो रोंगटे खड़े हो जाने वाली फीलिंग आपके आई ना, ये ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन स्टोरी देखने के बाद, दैट मोमेंट इज कॉल्ड ब्रिंगल मोमेंट. तो ये सब आपका ब्रिंगल मोमेंट है. नाउ एक छोटा सा ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन पॉइंट लिखते हैं. आपने जो भी लिखा है इसमें, ओके, ईच ऑफ यू हैज दैट पोटेंशियल टू बिकम अ लीडर. इट्स नॉट अबाउट मनी. मैंने आपसे पूछा कि मनी किसको चाहिए? आई थिंक कुछ ने उठाया, किसी ने बोला ड्रीम बिग. बट फ्रैंकली मनी इज नॉट द मोटिवेटर इन लाइफ. मनी इज नेवर द मोटिवेटर इन लाइफ. The only motivation which you can get is by solving some problem, helping somebody. Money is required, it's a byproduct. Now एक छोटा सा लाइन लिखना आप, आई योर नेम, आप अपने मोबाइल में, अपने पेपर पे, जो भी है आपके पास, ये लाइन अपने लिए लिख सकते हो जो आपने ब्रिंगल मोमेंट आइडेंटिफाई किया है. वो लिखना कैसे है? आई योर नेम ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड फ्रॉम दिस सिचुएशन टू दिस सिचुएशन, and how do you feel about that? Do you feel proud? Do you feel confident? Do you feel happy? Whatever that emotion comes into your mind about yourself, write that out. Just type it. You don't have to show it to anybody. Put it in a WhatsApp or an SMS or a notepad. You can create a myself group with only you there in WhatsApp. Just write this one-liner. I, your name, what transformation, what situation, from which situation to what situation you have transformed, and what emotion you have. Do you feel proud of yourself? You are happy? Just write it down quickly. घर जाके इसका print निकाल के put it with you. If you don't want to show it to everybody, keep it under your drawer or some table. If you can put it clearly on the front, on your wall where you can see it. This is your transformation journey. And believe me, if you do repeat this exercise, you will be able to find out at least 7 to 10 transformation stories like this, irrespective of your age. So the point what I am saying is, जब हम पैदा हुए तभी हमने struggle किया. अगर हम उस टाइम पे नहीं रोते तो आज we might not have been living the way we are living it today. Our lungs also required that crying, that struggle to develop. Similarly, when you do anything in your life, you need to transform yourself. You need to transform something into a very different aspect. And that's what entrepreneurs does. Entrepreneurship is nothing, it's not about business. It's not about running your own company. Entrepreneurship is a mindset of transformation. If there is a problem you see, how do you solve that problem? How do you overcome that situation and make sure that you are able to create something beautiful for yourself and for others? That is entrepreneurship. तो अगर किसी ने आपको यह बताया है कि entrepreneurship is all about creating a business or setting up a company, no, it's wrong. You can be an entrepreneur working for a company. You can be an entrepreneur working in your own company. And if we want to transform our country, each of us has to do something transformational. We have to have that entrepreneurship mindset. We have to have that transformation thought process. Finding out a problem and then converting that into a solution. Okay, so I'm just wanted to share with you about entrepreneurship a little bit around that before we go on to further. Now I just want to understand how many of you want to have your own company? Beautiful. Keep your hands raised, please, whoever wants to set up your own company. Okay. How many of you have business ideas with you where you want to work? Very few. Very few. Good. How many of you know who has the idea what can be the business model around it? How can I transform that into a business? Nobody. One, You know that? Can you please explain? Can somebody give her a mic, please?
Hi, sir. My name is Yashika, and I have this startup already, upkind.org. So it's a sustainable startup based on sustainable fabrics, and I have a lot of things in my mind right now. But right now, I'm focusing on my college, and after the college, I'm planning for an expansion.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, I've been in this journey and I realized that what I can do, like what's my forte and what I cannot do. Right. So, I understood that marketing is something which is not a cup of tea for me. So, I'm taking help in that. And if I talk about the business model, so firstly, I thought that B2C can be a good model for me. But later on, I realized that for that, I need to be extremely communicative with a lot of people. I need to make a lot of contacts. So right now, again, sir, it's an exploration phase for me. So that's what I have in mind right now.
Wonderful. Give a big round of applause to her. It needs courage to stand up and talk about whatever in your mind. See, nobody is clear. I have tried 21 plus ideas in the last 21 plus years. Without realizing I've been doing it, frankly speaking. It's all that I've connected the dots now. And I've lost 7 businesses with almost $500,000. I am running $100 million global startup today. But am I happy with that? Probably not. I want to make it as $1 billion by 2024, 2025. That's my vision. I have a co-founder who is my daughter, 12 years old. She wants to build $1 billion company. She wants to become maybe a millionaire before, a millionaire before she turns 16. That's her dream. I have a co-founder who is disabled, 57 years old. And I have another co-founder I just spoke the story about. The point what I'm trying to tell you is, entrepreneurship is all about your passion, finding a solution to the problems around you. And you're passionate to solve that problem. And probably nobody else is solving that. That is entrepreneurship. Sometimes you may have different ideas in your mind. You may get confused. Age is just a number. Disability, not disability, it's all just in the mind. If your mind is strong, you can do anything. How many of you guys know Stephen Hawking? Was he disabled? Was he able to speak? What did he do? He put up a chip in his mind. He used to speak, his thoughts were read by the computer, and the computer used to talk and communicate, and the reverse process used to happen. So when it comes to entrepreneurship, it is all about in the mind. And I'm very happy that all of you, most of you wants to start your own company. But believe me, even if you're working for any other company, you still have to have an entrepreneurial mindset. And that's very important. Now, today I will do some exercise. While this discussion was important information was being shared, I was looking at Wikipedia. What is entrepreneurship? So it says entrepreneur is commonly seen as an innovator, a source of new ideas, goods, services, and businesses or procedures. It also says entrepreneurship is nothing but designing, launching, and managing a business. So if you see the key words out there in entrepreneurship is innovation and design. And I've actually visited this facility before coming here. And I'm surprised and I'm really mesmerized with the kind of designs which has been here. And these are wonderful work which has been done for years together. Maybe some of you would have done it, but many Many of like you have done it earlier. And I'm sure you have much more potential. See, the good part here today is that you are living in the world of metaverse. How many of you know metaverse? Blockchain? NFT? Very few. Have you heard about any of these? Anybody? Have you heard at least? Raise your hands if you have at least heard. You might not know what it is. If you are hearing it first time, you may not raise your hand. Okay, so 80-90% people have heard. See, the world is moving to a metaverse which is immersive reality. Everybody would have seen Matrix movie, right? Or at least would have heard about it. How many of you have seen the movie Real Player One? Real Player One? The Oasis? You want to talk about that a little bit? What happens in the movie? Anybody wants to share? You also raised your hand. Please go ahead.
I like the movie because उसके graphics बहुत अच्छे हैं and
Okay.
being a pursuing graphic designer student, it's very catchy.
Okay, what is the concept of the movie? For everybody who has not watched that movie till now. What is the concept of the movie? No idea.
No.
Anybody can explain the concept of the movie? Yeah. Can you pass on there?
It's based on the concept of metaverse, in
Right.
which it's kind of based on that.
So what is the story around?
That there are real people and they actually play the game in the virtual world, and that is how they meet in real life due to some glitches, and they enter the virtual world actually enters the real world, and they finish the game in both worlds, and
Right, right.
is what it is.
Very good. Give a big round of applause. I think she's briefly explained it pretty well. So the movie goes in something like this, that there are organizations, there's a big metaverse called Oasis. And it has all sort of games like your racing and other sort of even fighting and war games, everything included into that. You have to wear just a virtual reality glass. You can be there anywhere. In fact, they have shown multi-directional treadmill also, because you're moving within the metaverse and you are standing in a place. So that multi-dimensional treadmill will help you to move around in the real life also. Because unless you move in the real life, the changes won't happen in the metaverse. So they have created that structure, and the winner of that Oasis will get the ownership of the company itself, because the owner of the company has actually been dead long years back. So the company has some hires, कोई ना कोई उसको चलाता है, but they have to find out the solution for that and become the owner of the company, and there are big rewards other available there. In fact, there is a company there who has put series of people in their payroll just to win that metaverse game. Apart from that, there are youngsters like you who are independent. They meet in the universe and in this metaverse, Oasis. And this Oasis, they will have their own avatar. So you may be a boy or a girl, but in that you may be an animal also. You may be a dinosaur. You may like any character, you can create your character. So you don't know how actually you look in the real life. You may or may not. That depends how do you want to choose your avatar or design your own avatar. Okay? And then the idea here is nobody reveals their true identity, where they live and all, because there are people who are listening to you, and that can be not very good for you, and which eventually happens with the hero boy of the movie kind of thing. Okay? So the point is that the world, if you see that Oasis movie, it's so catchy movie. The design aspect, the immersive technology, the experience which you get, you literally feel that you're living in the real world. And the design has becoming very, very important, especially in the metaverse scenario. So unless you have that quality design available over there, you won't be able to understand that much. So it's a very big industry which is evolving from the design perspective. It can be applied anywhere. There are different metaverses which are coming up. Okay. So by the way, my metaverse avatar name is Anshav Jain. So anyways, so that's something which I wanted to share offline with you. Let's come back to our presentation. So I'll give you some exercise there. Each of you, can we see the hands again? How many of you want to start your own company? Just want to take a number guess. Almost everybody. Very good. So what I'll do is I'll help you to identify or validate some ideas which you can take up for your business and then help you to convert or transform that idea into a business model which can give you $1 billion company. Is this enough expectation for this workshop? Design Your Unicorn is my 5 steps certification methodology, which covers 4 areas, 7 pillars, and 105 factors which can make or break the business. Before I move forward, I'll tell you some data points. More than 50% of the businesses doesn't survive beyond 1 year. And 97% of businesses die out within 3 years' time. Only 1% of the businesses actually get some sort of funding. Because you need funds to grow or scale your business. 90% of them closes down even after receiving the funds. Which means only 0.1% of businesses actually survive. Only 0.1% of businesses. The reason is they are not able to sustain. If they are able to sustain, the situation like COVID may come in and they are not ready to adapt. If they are able to adapt and somehow survive, they are not able to scale it up. What do you understand by scaling it up? Anybody can explain? Yeah, right. So let me give you an example. Facebook कौन-कौन यूज करता है? बस क्या बात है? This is the first time I'm seeing nobody is using Facebook. Almost nobody. You don't use Facebook? Okay, which social media platform? Instagram? Should I say that? Huh? Can I see hands for Instagram, please? Wow. I think I'll have to change my platform now. So by the way, anyways, good. So Instagram everybody uses, right? Who owns Instagram? Okay. What happened? You said somebody else? Mark Zuckerberg. So Mark Zuckerberg keeps on working on Facebook day in day out ना Instagram पे सुबह शाम लगा रहता होगा इतने सारे यूजर्स हैं वहां पे isn't it लगा रहता है क्या हाँ is he running the Instagram or you running the Instagram हाँ no he just built it you are running the Instagram. Instagram is there because not Mark Zuckerberg is there. Instagram is working because you guys are loving it. You are working, you are creating posts, you are putting content over there, you are creating your reels, you are sharing it with your friends. That's called scalable model. Where even if you are not there, your system keeps running. Your business keeps growing. Valued at $1 billion is called unicorn in the startup ecosystem. And if you are going into the startup ecosystem, you want to set up your company, you have to know these basic jargons. How many unicorns are there in India? Google it out quickly. You will get immediately. It's okay. It's collaboration. It's not cheating. Google is there for that. Perfect, perfect. And of course, there are many in making, including ours. So the point is, Acha, by the way, I run a hashtag called Stop Googling, Start Bringling. Have you seen a Google doctor? Google doctor. Huh? No? So I don't know why, but मेरे साथ एक दो बार हुआ है. So I'll tell you a real incident. Okay. My wife, she had some pain in the hand. Okay. And it was so severe that we went to multiple doctors. She couldn't find a relief. And she searched it out on the internet. And she got to know some disease over there, because of which the hand may have to be amputated. Okay. Now she is wife and I am husband. So I will have to take a brunt of it any which ways. Right? So she is after my life. You don't take care of me. You don't love me. You're not taking me to the right doctor. You're not worried about me. And I take her to multiple doctors. Of course, forcibly. Because मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है मैं क्या करूं. डॉक्टर के पास गए. And doctor is telling nothing is there. Just calm, relaxed. It probably be the mental stress which you might be having, which is coming to your body. No, I have read this in Google. I have this problem. Why don't you test it out? And we kept changing doctors like that. We literally kept changing doctors like that. We kept changing doctors. Finally, I think it took almost a long time, and I really pity her situation because she was really in a pain. मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा था क्या हो रहा है. But 2 years down the line, somehow that subsided on its own. I don't know, on its own or whatever. She even went to a doctor where Sachin Tendulkar used to visit for his treatment. Okay. I don't know what happened. Frankly speaking, after a point in time, she stopped asking me to go to a doctor. She started going on her own. Because I got fed up, because जब भी doctor के पास जाओ, she'll open up the Google and say, this is what my problem is. And she's telling the doctor that this is my problem. And that's called Google doctor. And somewhere we do this for each and everything for us. हमें कुछ भी problem होती है, हम Google पे search कर लेते हैं. The problem is not in the Google. The problem is in the person who is Googling. Because once you Google, you just take the information as it is, without processing that in your mind, without understanding the real aspects of it. And that is why I used to run this hashtag, stop Googling, start Bringling. What is Bringle? Using your mind. Get a tingling sensation in your mind, body and soul. So the point here is that once you have an idea, it has to give you that feeling of transformation in your mind. You can find everything on Google, but use your brain. And that is where an entrepreneur differs comparative to somebody else. You may have learned so many things in your last 20-25 years of life, but these are all bookish languages or knowledge, which is required, but you have to innovate further. And once you start innovating further, that's where you become an entrepreneur. So let's go that. This is our vision, 2020-2030. We are looking at transforming 1 billion lives, 1 million businesses and 100 unicorns. And that's our vision 2030. We are going to talk about idea validation and business model canvas today. So I'll quickly complete this. If you want, this PPT can be shared with all of you. Ma'am, you can please share this PPT with them. But I'll give you a framework on this. I just wanted to set the background on that. See, जो भी आप काम करो ना, उसको एंजॉय करके करो. अगर आप उस काम को एंजॉय नहीं कर सकते ना, आप कभी एक्सीलेंस भी नहीं पा सकते उसमें. 3 इडियट्स मूवी में क्या बोलता है? हाँ, अरे यार बहुत अच्छी बात है. सो 3 इडियट्स मूवी में ही सेज दैट सक्सेस की तरफ मत भागो. राइट? रिमेंबर दैट. व्हाट इज दैट स्टेटमेंट? सक्सेस की तरफ मत भागो, एक्सीलेंस की तरफ भागो. सक्सेस अपने आप झक मार के आपके पीछे आएगी. तो वॉट एवर यू डू, वॉट एवर योर कोर स्ट्रेंथ इज, आइडेंटिफाई दैट. फाइंड दैट योर कोर कॉम्पिटेंस, वेयर यू आर रियली गुड एट. मैं अपनी स्टोरी बताता हूं. मैं इंजीनियर हूं. मेरे को कभी कभी लगता है मैंने एक इंजीनियरिंग की डिग्री किसी एक बेचारे अच्छे इंजीनियर के लिए वेस्ट कर दी. आई हैव नॉट यूज द इंजीनियरिंग डिग्री एट ऑल. शायद ये चीज मुझे पहले पता होती कि इंजीनियरिंग मेरे लिए नहीं है, तो शायद मैं नहीं गया होता. आई वुड हैव डन समथिंग डिफरेंट. आई एम नॉट सेइंग इंजीनियरिंग डिड मेक मी लर्न एनीथिंग. आई लर्नड अ लॉट. But it is important for us to know ourselves. And frankly, just want to, I mean, it's not a book promotion here, but सोने की चिड़िया को जगाओ is nothing but knowing about yourself. How many of you know India was called as a सोने की चिड़िया? Almost all. This is the first class I have seen that. Wonderful. You guys are well informed. Now, this सोने की चिड़िया is, and how many of you know that when we actually lost this status, सोने की चिड़िया? Customer. You are solving a problem for your customers. Because customer is the king. अगर आपको यहाँ डिजाइन इंस्टीट्यूट की बजाय आपको इंजीनियरिंग इंस्टीट्यूट में भेज दिया जाए डिजाइन सीखने, तो आप आओगे? नहीं आओगे. The reason you are here because it's a design institute. So the customer के हिसाब से आपको अपना बिजनेस सेट करना होता है. So whatever you are doing is doing for the customer. How will you make your king extremely happy? आप कोई भी राजा को सबसे ज्यादा खुश कैसे कर सकते हो? चापलूसी नहीं करनी है. कैसे कर सकते हो? By solving his or her problem extremely well. बीरबल अकबर का सबसे खास वन ऑफ द नवरत्न था. राइट? वाई? बिकॉज उसकी प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व करता था. नोबडी वांट्स अ प्रॉब्लम showing, person who always shares problem. People want somebody who can solve that problem and give a solution. That is where critical thinking, problem solving comes in. And that is what one of the important traits of an entrepreneur. How will you solve the customer's problem extremely well? By understanding the problem really well. 90% of the times you are not able to find the solution of your problem because you don't have a problem itself. नहीं समझ में आया? नहीं समझ में आया? Okay. I'll just give you this exercise on this. IRC पहले किसी ने टिकट बुक की होगी. पहले हम फिजिकली जाके टिकट बुक करके आते थे, ट्रेन टिकट्स. आजकल ऑनलाइन है. तो अगर पहले का सिस्टम और आज का सिस्टम में 1 to 10 पे रेट करना हो, 10 बीइंग द बेस्ट, तो अब पहले के सिस्टम को कितने पे रेट करोगे? पहला वाला सिस्टम 10 बीइंग द बेस्ट. 1, 2, 3, right? And if you have आज का system, you will have somewhere around 7 or 8, and you have difference of 6 or more. Kunal Shah, founder of Cred, who is running a $2 billion company, who sold his earlier company Freecharge in $600 million. He has set up talking about a Delta 4 strategy. So कोई भी आप solution निकालते हो, तो आपका जो solution है, it should be at least 4 times better than what it is today. That's called Delta 4. So we will talk about this later. I think I'll have to hold it here. I hope I've been able to keep you interested. I could have gone through these slides as well, but I think it took some time, so maybe next time. But ma'am, you can share this. And if you guys want, and ma'am, if you want, I would be happy to do it over a Zoom call or a Teams call sometime for this, for the entire students, whoever is interested. Thank you.